What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Catch Me Off-Road YouTube channel. Apologies, I know it's been a minute since I've dropped anything. I think the last video is probably our Wendigo Watch event earlier this year. And one of the main reasons for that is the topic of today's video. I actually have some kind of sad news, but has a happy ending. You see I'm driving a TRX right now. This is actually a completely different truck than the last time you saw my TRX. About 3 or 4 months ago. Today is Memorial Day weekend in May. So back in January, myself and 3 or 4 other of our crew were pre-running the trails for our Wendigo Watch event, which happened in February, middle of February. And while we were out there, unfortunately, in my truck, we hit a tree and totaled it. I'll post some pictures here or video clips for you guys to see. But it was pretty scary. It was really icy that day, and we were actually between trails. We were just on a public road, and really poor visibility. Snow kicked up from the vehicle in front of us, and we came around a turn a little too fast on the ice. The truck slid off the road, and actually it could have been saved if we didn't get sucked into the ditch. And basically we got sucked into the left side of the road, into the ditch, and were unable to get out, sliding at about 30-40 miles per hour. And yeah, we slid straight into the only tree that was there. It was really unfortunate, but I guess it was meant to be. And luckily this truck did its job, completely saved us, myself and one of my good buddies who was in the vehicle with me as well. And all the airbags in the front went off, and the curtain airbags went off on the driver's side. What else happened? So as soon as we hit the tree, after the airbags went off and everything, of course, the truck auto dialed 911. Someone's voice came on right away. The operator came on within a few seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, and asked if we were okay, how many people were on board, if everyone was okay, if we needed medical attention, etc. So we opted for them to send some first responders, and they actually got there really quickly. Within probably 7 or 8 minutes, we had the ambulance on scene and some police officers or state troopers. I can't remember who they were exactly. So they showed up, helped us out. Luckily, no one else was involved in the accident. It was just this truck and a tree. So the police report was pretty simple. There was no other parties involved. And we had to tow the truck back. Obviously, the whole front end was smashed up, as you saw in the videos, and it was completely undrivable. So we had to get it towed back to Michigan. We dropped it off at our friends at La Fontaine dealership network. They had a really nice body shop that took a look at it. I was pretty sure it was totaled just based on the damage, but they had to confirm it, and the insurance agent had to come out. I think they call him not an underwriter, but an assessor or whatever they're called. So they came out, checked it out, and yeah, sure enough, it was totaled. The truck actually went to auction about maybe a month after the accident. It went to one of the auctions here in Detroit. That's where we're located at, in Metro Detroit. And it was sold pretty quickly. Someone bought it. Actually, I saw the person who bought the truck posted it on Facebook Marketplace for parts not even a week after buying it. And it just popped up in my Marketplace. I'm, just like all you guys, I scroll Marketplace at nighttime sometimes and just look out for cool stuff. And my truck popped up right there with the wrap and everything on it. So I was pretty excited about that. I never reached out to the guy, but it went down a few days later, so I'm assuming someone bought it or bought some parts off of it. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about today was that, number one, I wanted to get that off my chest, let you guys know that the truck is gone. But luckily, I was able to get into another TRX. As you know, probably 2024 was the last year for the TRX to be produced. It is now 2025, so the only ones available were either 2024s that were brand new on the lot or a used vehicle. The 2024s, because they're the last year and most of them were last call or final editions, they were very, very expensive, and I couldn't swing that. So I ended up getting a lightly used, very lightly used. It had about 6,000 miles on it when I picked it up. 2023, and guess the color? Yep, you guessed correctly, hydro blue once again. So this is my third hydro blue TRX, and I love it. This one is actually, if you look at it, it looks very similar to my last couple trucks, and that is because I was able to salvage a lot of the parts off of the truck since insurance wasn't paying out for all the aftermarket upgrades. So I asked them if I could take them off and return it back to stock, basically, whatever parts I could. And they agreed to that. They said, yep, go ahead and strip whatever you want off of it. Keep it for your next vehicle. And so I'll do a quick walk around here of the truck, show you guys what all we have. So 2023 level 2 TRX. This one's very nicely optioned, actually. It has several options that I never had before. Starting from the inside, it has the carbon fiber package. It has something I don't like is the trailer steering. I wish it didn't have that because you actually lose 2 of your auxiliary switches. So instead of having 6 switches, I only have 4 because they normally go right here where this is at. This one does have the panoramic roof, just like I've always had. That was one of my requirements. It has some other things like the bed group and things like that, where it has a spray and bed liner from Mopar and the rails on the sides, etc. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So very similar to my last truck, a little bit nicer, a little more options. So we'll start at the front on what I've done to it, modifications wise. You'll see I started with an ADD bumper, and for the first time I switched it up, and instead of going with the bolt-on, the Pro bolt-on, I went with this one. It's called the Bomber, ADD Bomber bumper, and it allows you to use 3 LP6 Baja Designs lights, or you can get the same version with 4 rigid lights. They're a little bit smaller, but you can fit 4 in there. Since I already had 3 lights that were undamaged, all I had to do is swap lenses to make them all match clear, and was able to get those on there. And then shout out to Tyree Lights. They actually sent me all new lights for this truck. Amazing sponsor and super nice lights. So I put the larger ones up here on the pillars. I was able to reuse my SDHQ pillar pod brackets. This one is actually bent up because it made contact with the windshield during the wreck, and I had to kind of bend it down. Shout out to my boys at Blackout City Customs. They helped me install many of these parts, like the bumper, all the lights. I also have some Tyree Ambers up in here. Those just went in last week. And then next thing you'll see is my wheels and tires. These were actually on the truck when it was wrecked, the last truck, and I was able to get them off, no damage to the wheels or tires. And my friends at LaFontaine Auto Performance, they did a lot of work as well. So they actually installed these for me, rebalanced them, and then they also reinstalled my full AWE exhaust system on this. Love the AWE. It has the black tips, as you can see, and it was actually completely undamaged during the wreck somehow. The whole engine was shifted backwards about 6 inches or so, maybe 5 inches, and somehow I guess the flex pipes at the right before the cats were able to take a lot of the slack, and they allowed me to remove the whole exhaust system without any damage. So thank you so much to LaFontaine Auto Performance. Those guys are awesome. If you have any aftermarket parts or needs, or even, you know, warranty work, things like that, hit them up. They'll help you out with any vehicle. So next up you'll see, so after wheels and tires, I also have Eibach springs, and I have the Eibach Pro Lift set, which is all 4 springs. It lifts the truck about, I don't know, I think 2.5 inches in the front and about 1.5 inches in the back, which is the exact same setup I had on the last truck. I got these from our friends at Off-Road Alliance. They sell a ton of aftermarket parts. I also got the bumper from them as well. So hit them up if you have any aftermarket parts that you're looking at, and they offer really competitive prices. In fact, they'll give you the best prices of anyone I've seen, and quick shipping, very nice customer service. So highly recommend using them as well. I also have wheel spacers on this, which again from the last truck. You'll see a theme here. I was able to salvage a lot of stuff and put it on this one. And then we'll make our way around to the back. So here's where it's a little different. Instead of having the dual tire rack setup, I actually have a single factory Mopar spare tire mount, or whatever it's called. And the reason I went with this one is, number one, I'm kind of trying to save a little bit of weight. I know these are heavy trucks, and I'm just trying something different. I've had the dual tire setup on 2 trucks so far, and I wanted to change it up. So same spare tire. The other one's sitting in my garage, and I just bought this mount from Facebook. Someone had it brand new, and Blackout City Customs was able to install it for me. Did an awesome job. Everything looks really nice. And then back here we have our Tyree rear ambers. Super bright lights. Very big fan of them. And then moving up, you'll see we also have a new addition. So that is actually an antenna mount for my radio, which that was also installed at Blackout City Customs. They did a really good job because you can't even tell it's on there from the inside. All the wiring is running up beneath the headliner where you can't see it, and it goes into the power, and it goes into the back of the radio and everything else. They installed the radio for me. Let's take a look in here real quick. So this right here, I'm gonna wrap or relocate. We just did this to make sure everything was working right, and then we'll fix that. But the radio sits back here, and this wire goes to the antenna. I ordered a cable that was a little too long, so we just wrapped it up right here. And then it also has a power cable that goes towards the front of the truck. We'll go around and take a look at that. And this is the exact same radio setup I had in the last truck, and I only used it once during the pre-run when we wrecked. So the radio sits right down here. It's an ICOM something. I can't remember what it is. Let me see if I can read the top. Maybe 2370. I can't remember. But it's a dual frequency radio, so it can run 2 separate frequencies at the same time, and you can hear both of them. You can adjust volume separately on each one, and you can flip back and forth between them easily. So for us, we use them for lead and chase drivers at events, because we can quickly switch back and forth between groups. So if one group is on one frequency and another group's on the other, you can hear them both at the same time, and you can switch back and forth. And then we added a nice speaker up here, which is wired into the radio as well, just to make it easier to hear things. And then a RAM mount, because I actually now have an iPad mini that sits right here. Thank you, Kip, for talking me into getting that. We actually used that during the pre-run when the truck was wrecked, and it worked really nicely for navigation. You have a little iPad mini sitting up here. You can still use your full screen, and it's not in the way of your vision or anything like that. Okay, so I think that kind of wraps it up. That's about all I have done to the truck so far. Next up on the list is going to be a full wrap, hopefully, from Blackout City Customs. We're trying to decide on a color, and I am torn on so many different colors. I have no idea what to do with this one. I've had Nardo Gray. I've had the camo looking one with different shapes on my first one. If you guys have any suggestions, please drop in the comments. I'm leaning towards maybe a green color, but I'm not sure yet. And then we'll do some bedside graphics, some custom ones that we sell at our shop. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the truck's pretty close to how I like it, and how I want it set up. We do have some modification videos. I have one showing the install of the third brake light that I'll be dropping in case anyone's interested in that, and then the antenna on the third brake light. And then I have one video for the pillar pods, the Tyree lights, and then we have a new one coming up soon, which is a new K&N air filter install. So that one hasn't gone on, I haven't installed it on the truck yet, but it will be installed very soon. And yeah, stay tuned for that as well. And let me give you guys a warm start real quick. Since you've listened to me blabber for so long, I think you deserve it. That's that AWE. And that kind of wraps it up. So hit me up in the comments if you guys have any questions, suggestions. Do you like what I've done to the truck? Do you hate it? Have I done the same thing too many times? Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, stay tuned for some upcoming videos. And then we'll get into the off-road season for 2025, hopefully pretty soon. We do have our Coast to Coast event coming up August 22nd, I think, to the 24th. Information is on our website. We just opened registration a couple weeks ago, and we have a ton of people signed up already. Some RHOs, some ZR2 Colorados, some Silverados. We have a pre-runner Silverado. We've got a ton of Raptors, Raptor Rs. So it's going to be an awesome event. If you're not signed up already, please sign up as soon as you can, because we're about to close it in a couple weeks. So that one actually goes from the east coast of the state of Michigan to the west coast, and it ends up at the Silver Lake Sand Dunes on day 2 of the event. And we join up with other people who are coming out just for the Sand Dunes event. It's a blast. Every year it's a ton of fun. It's probably one of our top events that we do. So stay tuned for that. We're also working on something for the end of the year that's a new event for us. We've never done anything like it before, and we're going to try to make it work. I don't want to give away too much information right now because it's not confirmed yet. We're still working on the details and insurance, things like that, but that's kind of stuff we posted. Follow us on Instagram at Catch Me Off Road. You're on the YouTube channel, obviously, so you know we're at Catch Me Off Road on here as well. And our website is catchmeoffroad.com. You guessed it. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.